Greetings, ghosts and ghouls. I am the UndeadWriter, and this is 50k in 30 days. My vlog detailing my journey through NaNoWriMo. If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, well, number one, thank you for finding this vlog. Because I think I've only marketed this to places that are to people who actually know what NaNoWriMo is. But in any case, NaNoWriMo is a national event of sorts. Happens every year in November, where writers all across the world sit in front of their computers, their laptops, their tablets, their iPads, their notebook and pen, whatever writing medium they prefer, and they sit down and they begin to write for 30 days. Their goal is to, in fact, reach 50,000 words of a novel. That is the goal. We have 30 days to reach that. And today is a special day because today is November 1st, which means, if you are able to figure out math and kind of guess things around, today is day 1 of NaNoWriMo. Bunch of other people are sitting in front of their computers and they're typing away and hammering out whatever their next novel will be. Don't worry, I am not slacking off. That is not what the purpose of this vlog is. I am going to write something. I'm going to write something as soon as I'm done recording this. But the purpose of this vlog in particular is just sort of for me to detail my journey, the progress of my story. I'm not obviously going to tell you guys, what's happening in the story plot-wise or anything like that, because that kind of wouldn't make much sense. What would be the purpose of me writing the story if I'm telling you guys every little thing here and there? The subject matter when it comes to writing things, a lot of the things are subject to change. I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of the things that I write this month get scrapped away for something else, but that's the nature of the beast. No, the vlog, in terms of progress of story, it's more to let you guys know word count, strategies, my feelings of the story, things like that. Very general things, just so you guys can kind of see the evolution of my story and stuff like that. Now, I will let you guys in on a little secret. I am kind of being a rebel this year. See, normally for NaNoWriMo, you're supposed to start fresh, starting from 0 up to 50k on a brand new story and whatnot. But see, I participated in NaNoWriMo last year, and I started writing a novel, but unfortunately, due to very personal reasons, I was not able to finish that novel. And it is a story that is pretty near and dear to my heart, and I really do like it, so I decided to continue that story this year. Now, granted, in order to feel like I'm less cheating, I only wrote about 10,000 words in that novel for last year, and I decided that in sticking to the spirit of things, I will still be writing a 50k this month. I'll just be tackling on those 50ks onto the current story. So my book should have a total of 60k words at the very least, more or less. So that is the goal. Before I sort of go into what story I'm going to be writing about, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what this vlog is about. Like I said, it's going to detail the progress of my story, detail what I'm doing, things like that. I also kind of want to bring about some tips and tricks that I utilize when I do write, whether it's for NaNoWriMo or for anything in general, just writing in general, or in fact almost any activity that I do. Because besides writing, I also record videos, I edit, things like that. I do some voice acting here and there, and I feel like anything creative and things and anything in that, there are universal rules that you can use. So expect these vlogs to also have some interesting tidbits and things like that, and just anything that you might be able to walk away from the video learning and be able to utilize with your writing, or maybe on any of your other projects. And I'll usually have some kind of topic as well, something, some kind of discussion that I like to have, like, let's say, world building, about character development, how to start your story, how do you format things, just anything that I think is important for a writer to know and to kind of figure out and how to do. Now, I'm gonna let you guys know I am not an expert. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I know how everything works. I am an amateur, like many people who are doing this. Now, not everyone. There are a lot of people who have had their books published, but for the most part, a lot of us are new at this kind of stuff. But I feel like I do know a bit of, I've been in the world itself. I've been wanting to be a writer since I was in 8th grade, which was many years ago. So I'm not exactly super new to the world. I'm just new in the sense that I'm not an established author yet. And hopefully I will be able to defeat NaNoWriMo this year, and we can kind of work on changing that. I will say this channel and these types of vlogs aren't going to go away at the very end of NaNoWriMo. They are to continue, but the focus for the channel right now is for NaNoWriMo. So I suppose to kind of get into the meat of things a bit, the topic and tricks, I guess, a bit too for today is, I'm really just, this is the intro episode. This is kind of just saying, hey, everyone, I exist. This is my video. Just kind of watch it. I'm gonna kind of explain a little bit about what my story is about. A very, very, very brief, very vague kind of thing. But the story I'm working on for NaNoWriMo will be a fantasy story, kind of dark fantasy-esque. It involves a character by the name of Devin, who, average person, kind of meek, he doesn't really like conflict, stuff like that. Doesn't really step up to do anything. A very beta like individual, who, after a night of going to a local neighbor's house for a party, which involved drugs and stuff like that, he finds himself being roped into a human trafficking. Essentially, him and his friends are about to be enslaved, and he finds out that it's by demons. And yeah, that's not good. So he tries to escape, and he finds himself in another world. A strange world where the sun doesn't rise, sin and debauchery and vices flow everywhere like the Nile, and, well, demons are everywhere, and they are the dominant species of this new world. And Devin must now find a way to return home. Now, this is a very generalization, and I've written a bit, and I can go into more details and stuff like that, and I feel like with future episodes, I'll drop little things here and there, little teases, but for the most part, that's the generalization of the story. It is a story about a guy who normally needs other people to tell him what to do, finds himself in a strange world that is very much outside of his comfort zone, and he must learn to adapt, and must learn to find his way back home while dealing with the monstrosities that are both very strange to him, but also feel very familiar. So yeah, that's my story. So back to NaNoWriMo. If you're interested in participating in NaNoWriMo, I will have links in the description below, you know, to their website, so you can kind of check things out. It'll tell you the rules. It'll let you know, you can join up, you can go on the forums, you can talk to a bunch of people who are also participating, because it's really neat. Sometimes it's hard writing alone. It's such a daunting task. 50,000 words is pretty big to people who are not used to writing. But when you have other people around and they can really give you the support that you need, I mean, that's partly what this vlog is for, and that's what a lot of other people use who have their own vlogs for this, and who are on the forums, and who are doing this, and who are having group meetings and stuff. They're there to help each other so that we can all succeed and beat this. So if you want to participate, I'll have links in the description below. If you're kind of worried on how to actually start, because again, it is a daunting task, the next vlog that I do, which these should be daily, I am not going to nail myself to a cross and swear that that is going to be the case, but my goal is to kind of make these daily vlogs detailing my journey. But the next vlog I have up will be discussing how to actually start writing a book, like start the novel, start the NaNoWriMo process. There are ways people kind of start off writing a book. You have your plotters and your pantsers. Plotters kind of have a detailed chart of everything that their story is going to be about, and then they sit down to write. Pantsers kind of look at a blank page and they're like, well, let the magic roll. Either one is fine. It's all based on how your preferences, but I will go into them in detail and give my pros and cons for each one in the next vlog, okay? And as I'm wrapping up this episode, I have something to show you guys. So, one of the differences one of the things I want to do with this vlog as well are book recommendations, and I'm hoping to kind of use them to kind of showcase every episode a new book that I've read that I personally enjoy and recommend. And so for today, to start things up, I'm going to recommend one of my favorite books, Age of Zeus by James Lovegrove. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. So, Age of Zeus is a urban mythology story, I suppose. It's a really interesting book where essentially the Olympians, the Greek or Roman gods, appeared all 12 of them, and have made it their mission to essentially not take over the world, but to kind of be its protector. Think of kind of like the Justice League, but they're much more strict. Like, there are no wars, there's no conflict, humans all need to kind of worship them and whatnot. They basically try to fix the world, but not everyone agrees with the way the gods do their things, because they kind of do whatever they want, and it results in some deaths. So 12 humans who are fed up with the gods and don't really like the way they've kind of done everything, kind of come together under the command of this guy whose name is not on the back of the book, but he gives them a bunch of high-tech weapons and battle suits, kind of like Iron Man, I suppose, to face off against the gods. And these 12 humans are calling themselves the Titans. And it's an interesting twist, because a lot of us know the story of the gods versus the Titans and stuff like that. This is the first time I've read in a book where the Titans are the quote-unquote good guys or protagonists, and they're more human ingenuity facing off against the gods. So it's a really interesting story. I highly recommend it. It's The Age of Zeus. James Lovegrove writes a lot of books dealing with mythology and military stuff as well, so he has some other ones, and I'm sure I'm going to recommend some of his other books as well, at least the ones that I have a preference for. So, time for us to wrap things up, and before I cut this video, let me ask all of you a question, the question of the vlog, I suppose. Are you going to participate in NaNoWriMo? If so, do you already have a story idea? Are you going to be cheating like I am and continue to finish off a novel that you've already been writing? Or is this going to be a fresh new start? And if you are participating in NaNoWriMo, is this your first time participating? And if not, how many years have you participated? Have you ever won before? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see you guys' answers and see how many of us are actually participating. So, I'm going to go because it is like almost noon and I haven't written anything yet, and if I am going to actually do this thing, I need to start writing. So thank you very much, you guys, for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Take care.